Well, pre-calc, we are at the end of what we're going to cover this semester, so we're going to finish it out with the last part of 5.5. If you pull out your trig identity sheet, we're going to be working on the product to sum and sum to product formulas. And it says right here that these formulas are the last 8 found on the lower right side of your identity sheet. So we're going to open up with switching this product, cosine 2x, cosine 4x, to a sum or difference. So we're going to look at our identity sheet, and this is, it says to use product to sum. So this is that second to last group of formulas. And I'm looking for the one that says cosine times cosine. And so I see cosine u, cosine v, equals 1/2 bracket cosine u minus v plus cosine u plus v. And so what I'm going to do is let 2x be my u and 4x be the v, and then I'm going to plug them right into my formula. Okay, let me just make sure I copied that down correctly. Cosine u minus v, cosine u plus v. All right, here we go. So this will equal 1/2 times cosine of u minus v plus cosine of u plus v. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and erase this now so that I can continue working and cleaning up what I have here. So I have 1/2 cosine of negative 2x plus cosine of 6x. Now, if you want, you can go to the cosine of negative u. That's the same as the cosine of u. So this answer is fine. If you want to simplify it further, this is the same answer. And the reason why, the cosine of negative x is the cosine of x because cosine is even. So this answer is also okay. What you cannot do is say that is 1/2 the cosine of 8x. You cannot add the angle measurements together. Let's try part B. I'm looking for the identity that has cosine times sine. And I see that as the last one. So I'm going to be using 1/2. Oops, let me back that up. Okay. Cosine u sine v equals 1/2 sine u plus v minus sine u minus v. So we're going to apply that to what we have here. So this one will equal 1/2 sine of u plus v minus sine of u minus v. All right, now you can again leave this one this way. That's perfectly fine. If you want to bring in your even odd identities, sine of negative 4 theta is the negative sine of theta, so this will switch to 3 sine of 4 theta. Now that again is because sine of negative theta, it should be alpha here, so negative x equals negative sine of x, and that's because sine is odd. So either of these answers is fine. All right, now we're going to go the other direction. So now we're going to take a sum and write it as a product. So now I'm using the last 4 formulas on the identity sheet. I'm looking for one that says sine plus sine, so that's the first formula. Sine u plus sine v is 2 sine u plus v over 2 cosine u minus v over 2. All right, so here we go. So this is going to be your u. Here's your v, and we're going to plug them right in. So 2 sine of 3 theta plus theta divided by 2 cosine 3 theta minus theta divided by 2. So that's 2 sine 4 theta divided by 2 is 2 theta. Cosine of 2 theta divided by 2 is 1 theta. And that one's done. Let's try this one. I'm looking for one that says cosine plus cosine. Now, I'm showing you how to do this one with a sum to product formula. You could also do the sum and difference here and then add that to cosine. That's just a different way to do the problem. If I do sum to product, then what I'm going to do is say this is my u and this is my v. I'm looking for the one that says cosine plus cosine. And that's 2 cosine u plus v over 2 times cosine u minus v over 2. All right, here we go. So 2 cosine, our u is theta plus 2 pi, our v is theta divided by 2 times cosine of u minus v divided by 2. So 2 theta plus 2 pi over 2 cosine, these thetas will subtract out, 2 pi divided by 2 will be pi. Divide this sum by 2. Okay. Now, it says to write the sum or difference as a product. If I leave my answer this way, I'm showing a product. I'm showing this factor times this factor. That's a product. I do realize that I can simplify the cosine of pi, which is -1, but I don't need to do that. The directions say to write it as a product, and so that's how I'm going to leave my answer. All right. Let's see here. Okay, I was just checking everything against my answer key. And so now what we're going to do is use this one now to find the exact value. So we're going to use the sum to product formula to find the exact value. That means we're going to simplify it all the way down. Okay, I do realize cosine of 3 pi over 4 is on your unit circle, and cosine of pi over 4 is also on your unit circle, and yes, you can get the answer that way as well. But the idea here is to use a sum to product formula. So here's what we're going to do. Cosine of 3 pi over 4 minus cosine of pi over 4. Well, I'm looking for the one that says cosine minus cosine. And that's -2 sine u plus v over 2 sine u minus v over 2. And that's the very last formula on your identity sheet. Okay, my u is 3 pi over 4. My pi over 4 is v, so I'm going to plug those right in. So -2 sine of u plus v divided by 2 sine of u minus v divided by 2. 4 pi over 4, that's pi, so pi over 2. 3 pi over 4 minus pi over 4 is 2 pi over 4. So 2 pi over 4 is pi over, so this is 2 pi over 4. I'm going to divide that by 2, that's going to end up being pi over 4. And then I'm just going to simplify those down. And so I have negative 2 times 1 times radical 2 over 2. These 2's divide out, and we get negative radical 2 as an answer. All right, that is the end of your lessons for pre-calc. The only other thing we have to do after this is a test review. So we're winding down quickly. Have a good day, you guys.